Rusty, high energy, tremendous intensity. Guys, really, they're working hard. They're working to the expectation. We're going to demand more of them, but again, it showed. It showed we were gone on spring break. So we cleaned up a lot of stuff in meetings and in walkthroughs. And today we're going to play some live ball at the end of practice. We're going to do some short yardage and goal line drills. We'll certainly continue working the red zone, working with tempo, working against tempo, and just working all situations and parts of the game.
Coach, looking back, do you think that that break you had for 2 weeks is a helpful thing?
Well, it's unavoidable. It's one way or the other. Either you train and then go away for 2.5 weeks and try to start spring ball, not be in the best shape, or you roll in a spring ball after a great off season and then have a break in the middle and come back. We'd rather install, have a break, and then reinstall again so they've seen everything a couple times before spring ball is out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is Jake Hansen getting close to being Jake Hansen?
I don't know if he'll be back for spring ball. He will be working some drills. He'll be doing some stuff, but and it's the best thing for him. And I would love for him to be in there right now, but it's certainly best for him and for the team if he continues his progress as he has and be ready to go in a couple of weeks after spring ball.
Did you give players any studying, any homework, so to speak, during the break for them
to? What do you think? Yes, they all. We have this the iPad system, the way that we could push actual footage of our practices and our installs to them. They have access to that 24/7 on the iPads that we have for them, as well as they had a pretty defined workout of what they need to be doing. Now, you can't force that on them because those are NCAA rules, but if you want to be a good football player, these are the guidelines that you should use in order to come back in really good shape.
Coach, we've heard some of the guys say that the thing they've noticed this year is the physicality of this team and what's expected of them. Is that a point of emphasis?
It's got to keep trending that way, and it has to be at the forefront of everything we do. And for example, wide receivers, you're going to be graded and you're going to be judged as to how you play with the ball in your hands or without the ball in your hands. The really good teams in our conference and in the country, come October, November, they're knocking people back and knocking people around, and we have to become one of those football teams. And you could talk about it all you want, but unless you practice it and train it, it's not going to show up. And it's starting to show up in bits and pieces, and hopefully show up real strong in the fall.
Who's your reaction to McNeil leaving?
Everybody has kind of their own decisions and path in life. He left in good academic standing, and we certainly wish him the best. He's a good young man.
That position, you mentioned, recruiting, you wanted one more. Are you comfortable with the depth you have there in terms of the numbers?
No, we're not. We want to continue developing guys at that position. We're going to be thin today because Jalen Hall had to go home to handle a personal matter, and he should be back and fine. But because of that, our tight ends will get extensive work today, and we'll kind of take our running backs and move them around as well to make sure that we could spread the ball and still pass it and not deter from the development of our quarterbacks. Justin's getting better, Braxton's getting better, certainly Tyler's getting better, and we want to make sure those guys aren't limited because of our lack of depth.
You mentioned Jake, I was talking about through Nixon, the same thing. What do you tell these guys who can't practice in the spring, what they can do to make up for not being able to get out on the field?
They're coaches, is what they are, and they're just as responsible for their advancement as everybody else. When you take a step back and you watch film and you observe others, you could make yourself a much better player, or you could just kind of sit back and enjoy that time, and you will get worse. So everything in our meetings, in terms of the way we test our players, it's just as demanding for him now as a guy that's injured or recovering from an injury as it is if he was playing. You got to stay mentally involved, and you got to coach the other guys, and you've got to take mental reps. And one point that was made to me a long, long time ago was the cumulative rep effect is really important, meaning that you can't rep the 4,000 things that you're going to see. You're going to get some of them physically, you're going to get some of them through tape, you're going to get some of them through walkthrough. These cumulative reps have to add up, excuse me, and he's doing that at a high level.
With Arion and Tyree leaving the secondary, those are two veterans, but also two very confident players.
Yes, sir.
You got some young guys that are battling for positions now. Do you see that same level of confidence out of them? And if not, how do you get that out of?
I do. Now, those guys had logged a lot of playing time. All right, they had seen a lot of different scenarios and been on the field for a lot of big games. Two very special guys, and they will be missed. You see a lot of the same qualities and characteristics in these young guys. I know they all stay in touch as well. Those older guys did a great job helping groom these young guys. And football's about opportunity. I think you'll talk to them. They'll say they have zero excuses or anything that will keep them from becoming the great players that they are to be. And we believe that they're going to be great football players. And they've gotten off to a really strong start. they've learned a lot too, just watching themselves on tape and us studying tape as well. And we're doing some things to help them from a positional standpoint to make sure they have more success.
Is keeping Ugo at safety a byproduct of how confident you are in those two sophomores that you have?
Well, it's a little bit of two things. We're trying to build depth at both positions, and to do so, we have to find out what we can do well. And one of those things is keeping Ugo away from that position and let these young guys play ball. Okay, and they'll develop. I mean, the more repetitions they get, they'll develop. Plus, it provides us with more safety depth and more, Ugo's seen a lot of football too now. He's like a quarterback back there, for the defense. So he can do a really good job lining us up, especially at the linebacker position when you got a couple young guys in there. God forbid should Troy go down, you've got a lot of new faces in there, and Ugo is that guy. He's like a traffic cop, making sure guys are in the right spots, aligning correctly.
Sorry, already been asked this, but what's your impressions of Mondays for Tuesday's practice? You talked a lot about the culture, and you see that carry over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, and everything that we do. And mind you, a lot of times, people think when we come together after practice that we're strictly talking about football. We're really not. We're talking about making sure we're early to class, making sure we're doing a great job note-taking, making sure we're doing a great job sitting up in the front couple of rows to make a tremendous impression on the campus, on our teachers. It's just all carryover. It's all discipline related, right? We were one of the most penalized teams in the country last year. And we were one of the teams that turned the ball over. That's our fault as coaches, and we have to fix that. And it starts with a mentality and a mindset, and we're not going to compromise that for anything. We're not going to do it.
Have guys adapted to that new mindset and discipline? Like, how have they been acting?
Well, as you can see, hopefully we don't throw you guys off. We always start a little bit early because guys are here early, and which gets us off the field. I mean, we have a hard line, 2-hour set practice every single day, and we're not coming off of that. So that means that the pressure is on us to orchestrate, organize, and make sure we stay on task and on point with those, I wouldn't call them restrictions, but with that timetable. That all carries over. I mean, we can't ask our players to do the right things and to be early and go max unless us as coaches, are doing everything detailed in the right way and at max effort. So it's the cultural thing is a holistic approach. I mean, if you watch our equipment guys, they're held to a high standard too now. Kenny Farr does an unbelievable job making sure those guys that are running around, setting up cones, setting up drill work and bags, they are sprinting from drill to drill because the culture carries over to everybody. And it's kind of neat, it's kind of fun, and it sets a higher expectation. Okay. Now again, we're going against each other. We're not playing an opponent, so we haven't been tested yet, but the only way to test ourselves is to make sure we push the envelope every single day.
You are scrimmaging Saturday, right?
We'll scrimmage a good amount, probably 50 to 60 plays. We'll conduct a lot of practice work as well. We're going to be showing, we're really excited about the whole deal up in Portland. We want to kind of have our coaches coach drills and show how they teach so that the local coach and all the locals could see how our guys are working, the level of knowledge and teaching and whatnot that our coaches have and how we're training our guys.
From a scrimmage standpoint, is there anything you're curious to see how they react, or you want to get out of that?
We haven't had to coach much effort, but we still are going to do so. We want to see what was mentioned earlier. We want to see physicality. We want to see who's willing to knock each other back when they're tired, when they're hurting a little bit, when it's 3rd and 1, when it's play 60, when it's play 70. That's what we want to see. We want to see drill transition, and we want to see culture carryover when it really counts and it's on the line. And that's the only way to train it, Hopefully we'll have some fans make enough noise to make it, an away environment. But our guys are excited about that. It's going to be a real special treat for us.